Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thank you once again for joining me on Talking Fight as we discuss the news of the day, courtesy of our friends over in Germany at Boxing 24/7. Thank you very much, Christian. Appreciate it very much. All right, here we go. First news item I thought I'd like to share with you today, something called Boxing Jungle is being promoted by B1 Boxing, and the first stage of the tournament results are in. The first stage of the tournament took place in Kiev on August 14th in the All-Stars Boxing Club. The Majestic Boxing event was organized by B1 Boxing Promotions. And as you know, I like to promote these independent promoters with the support, though, of the World Boxing Council, WC. The main objective of this event is to give young fighters an opportunity to prove themselves in the ring and a chance to sign a professional contract with our company, says the WBC. So all fights were held in the format of 4-round matches and were broadcast as well. The results of the first stage are many, and they're in, and you can go to the Boxing 24/7 website to have a quick glance at who is winning. There are 2 more stages of the Boxing Jungle tournament in October and November. And according to the results, the best fighters will be offered professional contracts from B1 Boxing Promotions. And this will give a unique opportunity for young Ukrainian prospects to grow like a pro. Good for them. All right. In upcoming news, we have a fight to announce. In what has the makings of a sensational showdown, current WBC Asian Boxing Council heavyweight champion Vladislav Shchenko will make the first defense of his title when he faces off against Russian heavy hitter Alexander Ustinov. The Battle of the Big Boys is set to take place on Saturday, September 4th in the Bulgarian coastal city of Varna. The champion, Shchenko, remains undefeated in the pro ranks with a record of 17 wins since turning professional in 2017. His biggest win to date was back in December of last year when he captured the WBC Asia heavyweight crown, which catapulted him into the WBC world rankings. The challenger, Ustinov, has amassed a professional boxing record of 36 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw since he turned to professional pugilism in 2005. He has shared the ring with such names as Kubrat Pulev, David Tua, and Joe Joyce, to name a few. The gritty veteran will provide a stern test for the fast-growing reputation of Shchenko. In his most recent outing, Shchenko dispatched French boxer Noufel Outois via 4th-round knockout, setting up nicely to make his first defense of the WBC Asian Boxing Council heavyweight strap. As I said, the Championship Showdown is brought to you by the B1 Boxing Promotions team. These guys are on it. In other news, as we fly around the world, we end up in the Kyoto City Gymnasium in Japan. Undefeated World Boxing Council light fly champion Kenshiro Teraji from Japan will defend his world crown against compatriot Masamichi Yabuki on September 10th at Kyoto City Gymnasium. This will be the 29-year-old Teraji's 9th defense of his title. He won by defeating Mexico's Ganigan Lopez in May 2017. Teraji is focused and doing great preparation for this important match at the BMB gym, led and guided by his father, Hisashi. Teraji has 18 wins, including 10 knockouts, while Yabuki, who will get his first shot at the world title, has a record of 12-3 with 11 knockouts. Again, moving around the world, we come up to Callum Johnson, who returns to the ring against Marko Nikolic on September 11th, 9/11, at the Copper Box Arena in London. Light heavyweight star Callum Johnson makes his return to the ring on the undercard of Sonny Edwards' first defense of his IBF World Flyweight title at the Copper Box Arena on Saturday, September 11th, live on BT Sport. Edwards goes in against mandatory challenger and also 16-0 Jason Mama from the Philippines, following his epic seizing of the title from former long-standing champion Maruti Mathlane back in April. Johnson, who's now 19-1 with 14 knockouts, made an emphatic return to the Queensberry ranks in April with an explosive destruction of Croatian tough man Emil Markic in the second round. Now the 35-year-old former world title challenger will look to remain on course for a second shot with a convincing performance against the Serbian Marko Nikolic, who's 27-1 with 12 knockouts. Nikolic had previously held the WBC Mediterranean light heavyweight title, and in his last fight, suffered his only defeat in a challenge for the WBC International Silver title. Also on the card, I should mention, popular heavyweight Denzel Bentley, who's 14-1 with 12 knockouts, gets back into the fighting fold with a domestic dust-up against experienced campaigner Andrew Robinson, who's 24-5-1 with 7 knockouts. Bentley suffered his only reverse last time out when defending his British title against Felix Cash, and will be seeking to quickly restore himself into title contention. Some of the finest young talents in British boxing take their place on the Copper Box card, with ferocious lightweight Mark Chamberlain, who's 8-0 with 5 knockouts, back in action and looking to prove himself as the #1 young lightweight on the Queensberry books. In March, Chamberlain, who's 22, demolished the usually resolute Jordan Ellison inside 90 seconds with a sickening body shot, and now be aiming to continue his trail of destruction. His stablemate in Southampton, Ryan Garner, who's 10-0 with 6 knockouts, is also no stranger to concussive finishes, and the Piranha will be taking the next step before closing in on the super featherweight title challenges his huge ability warrants. Multi-talented former amateur star Charles Frankham, who's 3-0 with 1 knockout, will have his second fight as a Queensberry fighter after a successful introduction at the SSE Arena in Wembley in July at lightweight with former senior ABA champion Masoud Abdullah, who's 1-0, also in action at super featherweight. And super bantamweight Umar Khan, who's 1-0, and super featherweight Masoud Abdullah, 1-0, just mentioned. Cruiserweight Ellis Zaro, 9-0 with 4 knockouts, and the debut-making welterweight Khalid Ali also complete this card. Looks like a good one for sure. We also have news out of Italy. Daniele Scardina is going up against Jürgen Dobenstein. Italian star Daniele Scardini continues his hunt for a world title fight when he takes on Jürgen Dobenstein for the WBO Intercontinental Super Middleweight title at the top of the action-packed night of boxing at the Alliance Cloud in Milan on Friday, October 1st, with all the action shown live and DAZN. Scardini is now 19-0 with 15 knockouts and produced a dominant performance to extend his unbeaten record at the expense of Cesar Nunes last time out in February, stopping the Spaniard in 8 rounds to claim the vacant EBU European Union Super Middleweight title. King Toretto, who trains out of the 5th Street Gym in Miami, currently sits at number 11 in the world with the IBF, number 13 with the WBO, and number 15 with the WBA. And the 29-year-old can take a step closer to his dream of world title opportunity in the 168-pound division by defeating Dobenstein, who's 26-4-1 with 7 knockouts. In the chief support bout, former EBU European lightweight champion Francesco Pantera, who's 23-3 with 8 knockouts, looks to extend his 6-fight winning streak against Italian veteran Davis Boom Boom Baccherio, who's 48-6-2 with 22 knockouts, as they battle for the vacant WBO Intercontinental Lightweight title. The good boy Nicholas Esposito is 14-0 with 5 knockouts, puts his Italian welterweight title on the line for the first time against Emanuele Cavallucci, who's 12-4-1 with 4 knockouts. Former Team GB standout Sandy Ryan, who's 1-0, looks to build on her debut win at Fight Camp last month, undefeated super welterweight talent Samuel Nemoma, who's 15-0 with 4 KOs, steps up against Ireland's Craig the Iron O'Brien, who's 12-2 with 1 knockout. The Albanian Bear, Rashad Mati, who's 10-0 with 7 knockouts, sees action for the second time this year. An undefeated super bantam Vincenzo La Feminina, who's 9-0, looks to go 10-0. Quote, Italian boxing's flag bearer, Daniele Scardini, headlines an action-packed card in Milan as we continue to deliver our long-term commitment with DAZN to grow boxing globally, said Matchroom Sport Chairman Eddie Hearn. Scardina versus Dobenstein quickly follows on from our European title doubleheader in Barcelona on September 11th and is another great addition to our busy upcoming schedule as we cement our position as the #1 promotional company in world boxing. And said Christian Churchy of OPI since '82, We are happy to finally have fans back at the Alliance Cloud in Milan. This is a stacked card featuring 3 title fights with Italy's rising star Daniel Scardini topping the bill as he goes for the WBO Intercontinental title against Jürgen Doberstein. Francesco Pantera against Davis Barcieri is a great fight for the WBO Intercontinental lightweight title. And Nicholas Esposito versus Emmanuel Cavalucci is a great battle for the Italian welterweight crown. As I said earlier, Samuel Noma steps up against Irishman Craig O'Brien. Plus, there's action from prospects Vincenzo La Famiglia, Rashad Mati, and Sandy Ryan. Don't miss it live and on demand on DAZN. There you go. Lastly, let me give you a quick little update from the WBA. The WBA has given an extension for the Kayuchi Bermudez and Morel Ryder negotiations. The World Boxing Association Championships Committee gave a 10-day extension as of August 18th for the negotiation of the bouts of Hirito Kaiguchi versus Esteban Bermudez and David Morrell versus John Ryder. In the case of the Japanese super flyweight super champion Kaiguchi and the champion and mandatory challenger Mexican Bermudez, the negotiations for their fight were ordered last June 10th. So the deadline expires last July 11th. Probably this past July 11th. However, the WBA has not received any notification of an agreement. With the 10-day period granted, they should reach an agreement before August 28th. Initially, Kaiguchi's team had said they were negotiating a unification fight against WBO champion Elwin Soto, for which the WBA had granted special permit, but they were unable to reach an agreement for that bout. For that reason, the WBA asked the Kaiguchi and Bermudez teams to resume negotiations for the mandatory fight. As we recall the other day, WBA Rule C13, bout limitations, states that the champion cannot fight an opponent who is not the official challenger within 60 days after the expiration of his mandatory defense period. If the agreements for both fights are not received before the date indicated, both fights will be called for purse bid under the conditions established in the WBA rules. There you go. There are all your headlines from today, courtesy of our friends over Boxing 24/7. Thank you very much, Christian. Appreciate your support. And thank you, sport fans around the world who enjoy this great sport of boxing. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to get notifications when I'm coming.